folks, we will get started with our, make sure that's recording, our functional conditioning class. So as mentioned, doing some movements that are going to translate to our everyday life. So we'll just lightly stretch our right arm. There's some folks that were just with me on the previous class. And then if you're just joining, you may want to just take it easy on the first few sets. Let's switch. We'll just do some of like the main joint stretches. But to start off, just continue with that. We're gonna do some dumbbell halo reverse lunges, some inchworms, some skaters, and some fire hydrants. Okay, so we'll just need dumbbells for the first one, if I'm correct. So big hula hoops. And we'll try to do 2 rounds of each before we move on to the next movement. Yeah, sometimes when I try to upload these videos to my phone, I don't know what the factor is, but sometimes it does it really slowly and sometimes it does it super fast. And today was one of those slower days where it didn't transfer before the start of this class switch. But when it does, I'm able to upload that video onto YouTube while I'm teaching the following class. And then I get the recordings up a little quicker, but not today. Alright, and then let's just do a quad stretch. Good morning, Lisa, Karina. And let's switch. Oh. Alrighty. So we have our dumbbell halo reverse lunges. So if you remember these, this is where we grab a dumbbell over our head. Okay. You could just hold it over your head or you could rotate it back and forth. I'm just gonna hold it over my head and we're gonna do reverse lunges over here and coming back. Okay? So if your arms are a little tired, just try to keep your arms up without the dumbbell. But we do want to work on some mobility of the shoulder. Okay? So we're doing a total of 16. So stay upright and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, aiming for 16. Ooh, arms are getting tired. 14, 15, and 16. Oof, you got tired, and I just had a 5-pounder. Okay. I'm gonna put that on my notes. Did 16 reps. Proud of that. Okay. Now we have our inchworms to sky reach. Okay. So for this one, I'll give you 2 options. So the inchworm to sky reach, which is what I have down, is gonna be an inchworm here. When you reach to that high plank, you're gonna reach up to the sky, come back, and reset. Okay? If that seems like that's too much going on, then what I would like for you to do is do a high plank and then reach and then just alternate. Okay? And if that seems like too much, you could get on your 4s and then just rotate here. Okay? But you're probably gonna burn a little bit more with the inchworm sky reach, and then as we are kind of making it slightly easier for ourselves, then we'll still be able to get that range of motion for our shoulders and our torso. Okay, so this is going to be for time. I don't want anyone to feel rushed for this one, so just go at your own pace. But we're going to go for a total of 45 seconds. Where's my stopwatch? I don't think I'm going to, oh, there it is. Okay, so total 45 seconds. Just make sure you're switching sides. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. And then stand up and repeat. Maybe we could at least try to do 3 on each side. So let's try to do at least 6. So at least 3 on each side. That should get us close to the 45 seconds, maybe even the 50-second mark. All right, so once you get your 6 in, catch your breath, recover. Okay. All right. So now we have our ice skaters, okay, or skaters actually. So if you remember these, skaters are gonna be lounging side, dropping your hips, okay? So ideally we wanna be here. Okay, if that's too much, then you could just kinda lean over, but we wanna be resting all of our weight on that opposite leg, okay? We're gonna go for time on this one. Let's go for 40 seconds. Let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, just shifting your weight from one leg to the other. Got 15 more seconds. And time. Okay. All right, we're gonna go back to our reverse lunges and repeat the 3 we did, and then we're gonna finish off doing fire hydrants on the floor. I just don't want to do all the fire hydrants standing up on the floor, standing on the floor. So we'll do those at the end. I think I'm gonna skip the dumbbell over the head this time, okay? But what I will do, I'll just go prisoner. So at least there's some type of stretching going on my shoulder for this one, okay? So this is again, reverse lunges. We're doing 16 total, 8 on each leg. Ready? And begin. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8. Very good. Okay. Back to the inchworms. Okay, so we're gonna do, if we manage 6, maybe we could do 8 this time. Okay, so 8 of the inchworms, 4 on each side. Okay, so remember to rotate and reach for the sky. 3, 2, 1, and go. So high plank, rotate, come back, and repeat. That's 2. Alright, total of 8. I'm at 5. 6. 7. Got one more. Ooh. And 8. Whew. Those extra 2 made me work. Alright, and then we have our skaters again, okay? So let's go 20 seconds, rest. I remember that's the jumping side to side. Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. 40 seconds. Keep going. Got 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right. Good job. We're gonna be on the floor. We have fire hydrants, okay? So set up your yoga mat. This is going to be for a hip flexor and our lower back. Fire hydrants right here. Just remember, we are on our 4s. We're on our 4s, and we're going to be bringing our leg to the side. Make sure you're keeping your head down. Alright, so get on your 4s, wrists below your shoulders, knees below your hips, and begin. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 on each leg, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright, other side. Ready, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright. Very good. Whew. Good job. Resting for a minute. Okay. We have dumbbell high pulls. That's going to be right here. Okay, with our dumbbells. We have goblet Bulgarian split squats. If you're in my last class, we did the single leg. So this one, we're just gonna do our regular RDLs, okay? So, yeah. And then we have gorilla rows. This is where we're standing almost at a sumo squat position. We're hinging at the hips and we're doing rows, working for our lower back. And then we also have our prone YTW. So since if you're still on the floor with me here, we could actually start with those. That's gonna be starting with the Y's here, and then the T's, and then W's, okay, right here. So again, Y's, T's, and then W's. So we'll start with that, okay? All right, and then we'll get on our feet and do the other ones. So, alrighty. And we're doing 40 seconds, well, 30 seconds of each, okay? That's for the prone position. All right, so we're gonna start with the Y. Remember, it's just, don't worry about your legs. Your legs aren't doing anything. They're just hanging out and resting. It's all gonna be on your arms. Okay, your arms and your upper body. Oh, yoga mat's going crazy. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Y's. So arms extended and just up and down. Ten more seconds. Three, 2, 1, time. Ugh. All right, T's. We're gonna be, remember for the T's, arms at your side and just up and down. Okay, your legs aren't doing anything. 3, 2, 1, and go. Just up and down right here. Ten more seconds. Three, 2, 1, time. Alright, and then just rest. You can rest on your elbows. Next one's going to be W's. So remember, W's, we just took in our elbows to our side and then just go up and down as we were. Alright, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go. So elbows tucked in. Remember, we're just raising our arms. And time. Whew, very good. Stretch your back out a little bit. You can bring your glutes towards your heels. Stretch your back. Relax. Awesome. Very good. Moving on. Here we did those already. Alright, so this is our dumbbell hang high pull. So if you remember these, slight bend at the knees, and then you bring up the dumbbells all the way to your shoulders, okay? So just slightly drag them down and then come up. So we've done these before, but the difference is we're going slightly down and then up. Okay, does that make sense? Alright, we're doing 10 of those. Again, these liftings, we're doing 2 rounds, so after the third movement, we'll come back to this one. Ready, and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little bit of hamstring work, some shoulder work. Right, and then this next one, we have our dumbbell goblet Bulgarian split squat. So again, if you're comfortable with the chair, you could use it. So the way this one would work is, if we're using the chair, we did this I believe maybe on Tuesday. You could be here, goblet style, and we go up and down. If that seems like too much, what you could do is just a staggered stance and go here, okay? But what the chair is going to do is going to target the quad a little bit more, so it's going to work it out a little bit deeper, okay? All right. So we're going to do 8 on each leg. So extend both legs. Bring the right leg back or just static and begin. So 1, 8 on each leg, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, gonna switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I have to do the stagger stance in the next one. I forgot I'm racing tomorrow. I'm gonna be sore for that. All right, very good. Did our 16 there, holding 5 pounds. Right, and then we have our gorilla rows. Okay, so remember those dumbbells are here, bend over. So you see my stance with my legs. I'm here, back straight, and I'm bringing those. See my elbows are going out. Okay, so out and in here. 12. Ready? Get those dumbbells. Hinge and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Very good. All right, 1 minute rest. We're gonna go back to our high pulls. Oh, how are we doing this morning? Not too bad. It's Friday. I thought yesterday was Friday, but today's Friday. Anyone go for a walk this morning? Or a little bit of active?
No, but I did my lymphatic exercises.
There you go. How many times a week are you doing those?
I'm trying every day.
Nice.
Every day, and I feel slight difference.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel a difference in like energy level or
I feel like more the joints are more flexible.
Uh-huh.
The energy, I feel good. Not over good, but I feel comfortable in my body.
Good. Yeah, as we should. So that's good, yeah, with the joints. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into that a little bit more for the next term for flexibility and mobility. Let's go with our dumbbell hang high pulls. Remember, we have 10 of those. So slight hinge at the hips, going down and then up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Goes down. Yeah, I've been using this excuse of the race to eat a lot of carbs. So Julian came home with a bag of gummy candies from Trader Joe's, and I've been eating more than he has. So hopefully it doesn't backfire. I don't think so. I'm not eating a crazy amount, but having more candy than usual. Let's go with our split squats. So again, you could use the chair if you like. I'm just gonna go right here with our separate stance, our staggered, and doing 8 on each leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you've done 8, I'm gonna switch. Staggered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. Very good. Trucking away. And then we have our gorilla rows. We meet tomorrow, same time, 8 and 9 a.m. Yeah, just remember that it's a 10 a.m. class that we shifted to 8. So we use that Zoom link. And then next week is our final week of 6 days. Okay, so bittersweet. Alright, wide stance, hinge at the hips, arms down, and row. So 1, I'm gonna go wide. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Very good. Good work. All right. Moving on. All right. We have next our escalators. If you remember those, that's what we just walked, but with every step forward, we drop our hips. So it's gonna look something like this. Okay? So it doesn't have to be as dramatic, it could be little steps, but with every step forward, we do wanna lower our hips and then just come back up. Okay, so we wanna just activate gradually those quads. Then we have our goblet Cossack squat, so wide stance, dumbbells here, shift, come up, and then shift to the other side. You're gonna feel that stretch and that inner leg. Then we have our, what do we have here? We have our push press, shoulder press here. So here, and this one, the only difference is we're gonna do a little jerk with our knees to push up. Okay, so instead of just doing here, we're gonna get a little bit more power from our legs for those shoulder presses. And then we're gonna finish off with a wall sit, okay? So this is gonna be our last set. So we're gonna go through this circuit 2 times, okay? And then we'll do, let me see, overhead, no, dumbbell. We could actually incorporate some standing calf raises with a little bit of eccentric work after the wall sit, so we're not completely just shot there. All right, so escalators, we're going for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Just remember, every step forward, we're going lower and lower until we can't, and then we come back up. And back up. Back up. One more. All right, very good. All right, we have our Cossack squats. All right, so these we're doing 6 on each side. Grab your dumbbell, wide stance, and remember, lean, shoulders as upright as you could be. 1, we're doing 6 on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. We have our dumbbell push shoulder press. Remember, we're here, slight push at the knees. And for this one, we're gonna go, since we're getting a little bit of assistance from the knees, we'll go between 12 and 15 for these. Okay. Alright, we're ready. Dumbbells are here, and begin. Feet together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Wall sit. So find me a clear wall. We're going to be sitting down up against the wall here for 40 seconds. Okay, so I have my wall over here. We'll start in 10 seconds. Okay, so make sure that you have your hips lined up with your knees if you can. If not, try to get your hips a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1, go. 40 seconds. Halfway there. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Alright, 1 minute rest. Or sorry, we have our calf raises. I forgot about those. Then we have our 1 minute rest. My apologies. Alright, so these calf raises aren't too taxing, but we have these, okay? So dumbbells at your side, heels up, and then down, up, down, up, down, up, down, repeat, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 3 more, up, down, up, down, and last one, up, down. Very good. Alright, we'll do that circuit one more time, and then we'll cool down and be on our way. Oof. Definitely feel better than yesterday, I'll tell you that. So, I think yesterday, even though this morning was a bit rushed to get out the door, I think I just maybe ate a little bit more last night than the previous night. Oof. I'm excited about this race tomorrow, but I think now that it's so close, I'm getting a little bit nervous. It should be okay. I have no one to report to. I have no one to disappoint but myself. I have no one to impress but myself. So it's not a lot of pressure on this race, but for myself. In college, it was a lot different. I had to make sure that I was there for my teammates and my coaches. This is a little different. Alright, thank you, Teresa. Fingers crossed it goes well. I'm hoping for a win, but we'll see. I hope I have a good day. Ready? Escalators, and begin. So drop those hips. And then come back up. yeah, the last one that I did, if I had to rank it from 1 to 10, I finished, so I'd give myself at least a 3. I think that was like a 3 out of 10 effort. So for tomorrow, I'm hoping somewhere like a 6 or a 7 effort. If it's better than that, I'd be happy. But hopefully a 7, maybe an 8, and time. So we'll see. I just don't want to go through an experience of a 3, especially after 5 months of training. I should know better than to go out fast and get competitive. We have our goblet Cossack squats. So let's go wide and begin. So 6 on each side. And I'm hoping the 5 extra months of running at trails and longer runs have given me some more experience. And then the nutrition factor I've gotten better with. The heat, I've been training in the heat, so I'm hoping that helps out. Hope it translates. I'm hoping just seeing my wife and Julian too at the aid station 4 different times helps me. At the last race, they weren't even at the finish line. I got across the finish line and they weren't there. And last one here. So I'm hoping it goes well. Ooh. Can't remember the last time I did an evening race. It has to be at least like 15 years. Alright, we have our push press, their shoulder press. Right here, okay? Yeah, one of my 2 friends that was gonna do it with me backed out yesterday. So it's okay. I don't want to have anyone do something they don't want to. We have 10 to 12 of these. Ready and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, 2 more movements, our wall sits and our calf raises, and we should be ready for our cool down. Okay, so go find me that open wall. Wall sits for 40 seconds. We'll start in 15 seconds here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Wait for 30 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Alrighty. And our last one is our calf raises. I'm just gonna do these body weight. I'm gonna go for a total of 12 to 15 here. Alright, here we go. Ready? And begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Alright, I'm gonna grab the chair. Good job, everyone. High fives. I know it's a little bit lighter than usual, but this is also the 5th day for some of you. So, kudos. Alright, and I'm gonna go with some of my favorite stretches, which is usually sit down on the hand, fix that shoulder, hand comes over, stretch that neck out.
You can keep this routine for the next Friday.
The next, okay. Yeah, we'll do. It's not too taxing and it's a little different. So tomorrow with I'm competing, so we'll at 8 we'll go with balance and stretching, and then let's switch. And then for this class, we'll probably do a lot of body weight stuff, and that's gonna be more for my own selfish reasons that I'm competing. But there's gonna be options to use your dumbbells too. But yeah, the last thing I want to do, it's get super exhausted in the morning and then have to compete in the afternoon. But I'm hoping everything goes smooth. The winning time last year for the 30 kilometers, let's put our ankle on that left ankle on that right knee, was about 2 hours and 50 minutes. And when I see that on paper, it seems doable and realistic. I was like, oh, I could do that. Like, maybe I could even break the record. But what I forget about sometimes is that, when the race goes off, the race doesn't stop, or the time doesn't stop when you go to the bathroom, when you stop and tie your shoes, when you stop and drink water or hydration or eat something and push down. And usually when I'm running with friends, whenever we do these random stops like that, I do stop my watch because I'm not running. But during a race, the clock doesn't wait for anyone. So I'm hoping that I don't spend too much time doing all the little things in between. So, and if I do it, that's fine. I'm sure I'll have good reasons for it. I doubt I'm just gonna stop and look around at the sky and just forget about what's going on and that I'm in a race. But yeah, let's put our right ankle on that left knee. I think at my first trail race, I was just so grateful especially when I wasn't feeling too great, I was so grateful that people were out there handing out food and drinks and support. So I was just chatting with them, and I was thanking them and asking them how long their experience is, and I just went on a tangent, and me, I could talk. Once you get me talking, I could talk. So then I realized oh shoot, I've been here 4 minutes already. I should keep running. And so I think I have to be mindful of that. So we'll see. Oof. I think I saw that if the winners of the 50-kilometer race get a free entrance for the next year's race. I didn't see anything for the 30 kilometers, but it'd be cool if they had something like that, even 50% off for next year. And then I should be done around 9 p.m., maybe a little bit past 9. It's about 2 hours away, so, and I know I'm gonna want to grab food. My wife's already looking at restaurants to eat at. So we'll probably be home around midnight or 1 p.m. Late Saturday night. So, but good job, everyone. Good session. Thanks everyone for adjusting your schedules and joining me at 8 and at 9. And then just keep it up. We're almost there. I know 6 days a week is a lot. Trust me, if you think it's a lot, I feel the same way. And but yeah, we have one more week of that, and then we're probably gonna miss it a little bit when we just meet on Mondays and Wednesdays in the fall. Yeah, we might miss the weekend classes. So, but all right, everyone, take care.
See you tomorrow at 8 with the 10 o'clock class.
Yes. Yep. I know. I wish I could just change the banner, but yeah, we're almost done. So
it's good for the rain.
You right?
It's okay.
I know.
Thank
all right,
you,
folks. Take care. All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.